as the entire world seems to be stuck in a perpetual state of the unknown, now seems as good of a time as ever to remember that we need to take control of our mind. Over 73 million Americans are stuck wondering, did we just lose this election? Did we not? Is Donnie Ballgame going to rise again? Is he not? Are we about to have the oldest president ever elected in U.S. history that in theory could be corrupt, but we don't even know? And aside from all this uncertainty, you have lockdowns going on not only across the United States, but across the entire world. And everybody just seems to be stuck in limbo as we wait for the next month and a half to play out. On the Corona clap front, you have egregious lockdown orders being placed across the United States, but I've never been more proud to live in the state of Florida and actually have a governor that's willing to stand up to all this insanity, and the governor of Texas as well. And as more and more people are stuck in a perpetual state of fear because of all the uptick in cases, when I do my own research about the uptick in deaths, there doesn't really seem to be very much. You have states of 20 some odd million people with only 30 something people dying in a day. Naturally, there's no information about how old these people are that are dying, what their pre-existing comorbidities are. And since we know that these numbers kind of get goosed because people are dying with COVID and that's counted as a COVID death, we don't even know what numbers we can even trust. And people just seem to casually forget that over 150 people die in the world every year from coconuts falling on their head. 150 people die a year from slipping and falling in the fucking shower. But hey, whatever. And as our overlords try to keep us in this perpetual state of fear and tell us everything that we can't do, there's absolutely no suggestions as to what we should do. Not eat healthier, not go get some sun, not do more exercise, not do body weight exercises at home. There's none of that. It makes you wonder, did they forget that stress, anxiety, fear, economic uncertainty, the inability to support yourself financially causes a lot of other stresses on your immune system? So we're stuck in this state of wondering. We're stuck in this state of fear. You're constantly being berated by more numbers. You don't know who to trust. You don't know if you can trust our elections. The information is coming from every direction, and we're just constantly stuck in this confused state. Which brings it right back to how important it is for us to control our mind, control our health, control the food we ingest, control the things that we think about, consider the media and the information that we're taking in and what we're putting out. So despite all the negativity, I would like to highlight a couple of things that are good. You have businesses across the nation standing up to these lockdown orders and remaining open. And I gotta admit, it's a really positive development and is a really patriotic thing that I think people are doing. You have sheriffs across the nation standing up to these big blue governors that are suggesting that they need to impose these lockdown restrictions and orders. And you see Americans, you see business owners, you see free patriots standing up against these rules. And just remind you, what a beautiful place America is. What a beautiful thing that these Americans are doing. What a beautiful nation we have that we're allowed to do that without threat of insane persecution, because at the end of the day, we're all just humans. You got the mainstream media constantly berating Donnie Baseball without fail, despite their continued efforts at litigation to what in theory could be, if they were able to prove it, could be the most widespread case of corruption in American history. But, we gotta wait for that, but whatever. And amongst this constant barrage of information where you don't know what is true and what is not, and fear mongering and the cases are up and all this stuff, you just have people starting to become awake. So as negative as all of this stuff is, in a lot of ways, it's yin and yang. It's the duality of life. It's the world and the universe and whatever you want to call it, humanity, correcting itself. It's all of the negative is causing all of us to be more self-aware, more mind-aware, more mental and body-aware. And as they continue to impose more and more restrictions, it really just wakes people up about not only the power of government, but the power of your voice, the power of what it means to care about political happenings, what it means to care about the government and how the government operates, and really how much control they have over you. And I think that the end result of all this, though seemingly negative at this very moment, I think is going to ultimately be a huge positive. And that's kind of how the universe works sometimes. From the worst comes the best. The good news is, and the thing that gives me a lot of solace, is you have governors like Ron DeSantis in Florida, governors like Greg Abbott in Texas standing up against these rules and not saying that they're going to enforce vaccines, not saying that they're going to enforce mandates and lockdowns. And then you got Joey Baseman getting softball questions, asking him, what do you think about President Trump? And you could just see it. The more and more you pay attention, the more and more all of us stay awake and focused in, the more you can see right through the BS. And And that is a beautiful thing, because perhaps without all of this, it would have taken a whole lot longer, if at all, for people to really be awake and aware of what is truly going on. And as more people become aware and the truth continues to come out, it's a good thing for humanity, it's a good thing for people, it's a good thing for our brothers and sisters, it's a good thing for America, and really in a lot of ways it's a good thing for the entire planet. When I grew up, the topic was always, hey, you don't talk about politics with friends or family. It's a heated debate. Well, maybe this is going to change. Maybe this is going to change the way that the world operates. Maybe this is going to change the zeitgeist in a way that paying attention to politics is cool. Paying attention to freedom is cool. Understanding what is actually happening, not only with your money, your finances, but the rules, the structure, the economy, all of these different elements of our daily life, our health, and how our health is imposed upon by the government, by the structure. It's just going to wake more people up. So as much as it's negative right now and we're stuck in this limbo state, the good news about all this is that, at least in the case of the election, we're going to know an answer in the next month or so, and that's a good thing. And as far as the Corona clap is concerned, a lot of how that goes is going to be dictated by who gets in office. And if it's Joey Basement, which I certainly hope and don't think that it will be, at least we have a handful of governors that are willing to stand up. But again, the people always win, the truth always wins, freedom always wins. So I have faith no matter what. So my message today, amongst all this uncertainty, is to do a couple of things. One, to be patient. Patience is a virtue, and I think that we have to all just remember that no one can take control of what's going on in your mind. Control your mind state. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to sit out here, soak up the sun, enjoy life. And we have to just remember to be thankful on this week of thanks, on this week of Thanksgiving here in the United States. We have to remember that we should be thankful for our freedom, thankful for America, thankful for all the patriots out there, thankful that the information is coming out and that there's better access to information now than ever in the history of time, that we can communicate with our fellow peers and our brothers and sisters across the world at a moment's notice. And what a beautiful time that is. What a beautiful moment it is to be alive and human on earth and healthy and living right now. And we should just remember, control your mind, control your health, control what you intake and outtake. Have more conversations about this. Start more conversations about this. And the great awakening is occurring right before our eyes. And despite all of the negativity, this truly is a beautiful moment. Because the fight between good and evil is one that will never end. It is a perpetual battle that will continue, that started way before we were born and will continue long after we're dead. That's the duality of life. We have to fight evil, and in a lot of ways, I see it happening. So, remain calm, remain patient, get more sun. Focus on your body, focus on your health, focus on controlling your mind, focus on having thoughtful conversations that go deep, look into the research yourself, and remember that it is a beautiful moment to be alive despite all this uncertainty, despite all of this confusion, despite all of the lockdown orders. People are standing up for the freedom. We have the Constitution. We got a lot of people fighting for good, and we can all fight for good in our own little way. We need to open more conversations, spread more positivity, and look, freedom is going to win. It doesn't matter what happens right now. Freedom will win. People will win. Humans will win. And ultimately, love will always win. Enjoy the day. Keep your mind right.